Little close-up shot. Hi everyone, it's Maddie. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Welcome to day 16 of Diabetes Awareness Month, November 16th, 2018. And without further ado, let's jump into today's question. So today's question, like backing off of what yesterday was about. Yesterday, if you recall, if you didn't watch that video, please go check it out. But we talked about what type of insulins that I take and what they kind of do to help control blood sugar. And today is kind of like the amounts. How do you play around with the amounts and how do you kind of figure out what amounts work for you? So question 16, what is your current insulin to carb ratio and basal rate, and what does this mean for your body? Well, first of all, I'll point out my basal rate, which I think I mentioned yesterday. A basal rate is typically a set rate that you take either once or twice a day, and basal rate, if you recall, is a long-acting insulin that stays in your body for about 24 hours or a whole day to kind of keep your blood sugar steady and to help with excess blood glucose that may have been spilled by your liver. And I take 8 units a night, so I'm getting about 1/3 of a unit every hour. For this, that means that I'm on a pretty low basal. Typically people take, I'd say a lot of people take between 1/2 a unit an hour to 1.5 units an hour, which means they're taking anywhere mostly from 12 to 30 some units of a basal rate every night. I only take 8. I only seem to need 8 as of right now, but that need can change as I grow older or as things change with my life. I just wanted to briefly mention too, I'm not on a pump, but for a basal rate on a pump, that means that they take one type of insulin, but their basal rate is giving them so much an hour, whereas if you're on MDIs, you're going to take a set amount for a whole entire day, and then that'll disperse a set amount in an hour. So for me, if I was on a pump, I would have it set to 1/3 of a unit per hour, or 0.33. Right now that I'm on injections, I take a full 8, and that lasts me the full 24 hours. And then so every hour my body will, or the insulin will disperse 1/3 of a unit into my bloodstream. I hope this makes more sense now and covers you for those of you who are on pumps. And then insulin to carb ratio is what you use when you take your rapid acting insulin or when you eat. Typically speaking, you have 1 unit of insulin will cover you so many grams of carbohydrates. This can vary from person. For me, the last insulin to carb ratio I had was really, really small. It was 1 unit covered me 40. I personally, since I've ended my honeymoon, have not been back on an insulin to carb ratio. They have me a set amount per meal. So I take 3 at breakfast, 2 at lunch, 3 at dinner, and this can be, and there could be more added to that depending on what my blood sugar is. I would say though, typically for me, it's 3, 2, and 3 or 4 at dinner. Depending on blood sugar. I tend to have a little bit of a spike sometimes after lunch, so as I grow on here and as I learn my own body, I might increase my lunch to 3 and do 3, 3, and 3 to avoid those spikes. But because I eat consistently 60 carbs a meal, basically my insulin to carb ratio, I figure, is about 1 unit covers me 20 grams of carbohydrate. But depending on my blood sugar, 1 unit can cover me 15 for 1 day, or it could cover me closer to 30. If I had to guess what my insulin to carb ratio is right now, it would be somewhere between 1 to 15 and 1 to 30, with 1 to 20 being about a standard for me. Now, these can vary, again, depending upon the person. If you are more insulin resistant, you will get more insulin to the amount of carbs, meaning that the denominator of that fraction, the 1 to whatever it is, will be lower. For example, if you're a little more resistant or you need more insulin with your carbohydrates, an example would be like a 1 unit covers you 8 grams of carbohydrates. I'm kind of in the middle or closer to average. I'd say a lot of people are probably between a 1 to 10 and a 1 to 20. I'm on that lower, on the less insulin end of that spectrum. I'm at about a 1 to 20. And then there are some people, when they go through their honeymoon or when they're really, really young or just super sensitive for whatever reason, can have insulin to carb ratios that are like 1 to 50, where 1 unit will cover them 50. Again, it depends on the time of the day. It depends on the person. It also depends on the meal. These can change throughout your life. They can change upon your meal. And like I said, sometimes, I think for me, I'm kind of mixed. Sometimes in the morning I need like 3.5 units and not 3. So theoretically speaking, I'm more like a 1 to 18-ish in the morning. You know, at lunch I'm kind of lower, like you're little less insulin, like a 1 to 30. And by the time I roll around to dinner, I'm either a 1 to 15 or 1 to 20. So it doesn't have to be a set amount. It can be mixed. But I kind of want to go more in depth to you about insulin to carb ratios, how they kind of work. Same with basal rates, how those kind of work. How do you kind of figure that out? How do you know if you need to make adjustments? I kind of want to make a video all on that. So give this video a big thumbs up and comment below if you want me to make a video all on that. But until then, I think this answers this question about my personal insulin to carb ratio, or the amount of insulin I take at meals and versus what my basal rate is at night. With that being said, I think this wraps up today's video. I hope you all are having a fantastic day. Hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comment down below anything you'd like. Keep the positive vibes. If you are type 1 diabetic, I hope your blood sugars are doing really good. If you do subscribe, hit that little bell next to the subscribe button. That'll give you a notification on your laptop or your phone whenever I upload a video, so you'll never get to miss anything from me. Until tomorrow for day 17 of Diabetes Awareness Month. Take care, God bless, and I hope you're all doing well, and see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.